Growing your own food is cheaper than buying it in a supermarket, or is it? That's what we are looking at in today's video. I'm Kirsty, my husband's Dean. Welcome to Hartsumble Homestead.
A well-planned plot can produce an impressive amount of food. Amazingly, an area of 250 metres squared or 300 yards squared is capable of producing 3/4 of a tonne of food annually. You would need to spend around £1,500 to buy that amount of produce.
Before the convenience of supermarkets, everybody grew their own food. Survival depended on it, or the well-off had somebody grow it for them. But now, with supermarkets and markets and stores being available all over, many don't do that anymore. But with the cost of living, more people are wanting to go back and grow as much as they can to try and save money. But does it actually save money? So if it is cheaper to grow your own food, why isn't everybody doing it? Well, one thing is time, longer work hours, physically, mentally demanding roles, commuting, all of that takes up time, not leaving much time for outdoor things. That moves on to the next thing, money. Because the cost of living, many people are taking second jobs, and the money only stretches far enough just about to cover the bills, living paycheck to paycheck, wage to wage. So setup costs for growing is something many people cannot do. And that leads us on to the last one. Because there are more job opportunities in towns and cities, many people have moved there, which means they don't have much outdoor space, if any at all. But there is things that people can do. Even the smallest of windowsills can grow something. Initial costs. Originally, everybody planted just into the ground, using some basic tools and the seeds. These seeds were also saved from last year's crops. If you are unable to plant straight into the ground, or you don't have the land to plant into, there are other options available, but they do come at a bit of a cost. The renting of land. In the UK, we have allotments that can be rented from the local council. However, their annual costs can vary hugely. They go from £20 to over £150 plus if you're in a large city.
If you don't have outdoor space, hydroponics are a great option. I say hydroponics, not to be mistaken with the Stereophonics, who had an awesome soundtrack like Dakota. Thinking about you. Anyway, back to the video. Hydroponics require very little space and are easy to set up. However, the setup cost, the maintenance cost and the electricity they use can sometimes outweigh the value of the seeds you can grow in them.
If financially that's not an option, growing a few simple herbs on your windowsill can really be cost effective and save you money in the long run from buying them in the supermarkets. A great option if you have little or no outdoor space is sprouting seeds or microgreens. You can buy kits where they come with the jars, the lids, covers and stands. You can buy the little mesh lids for jars you already have, or you can even just use an old jar with a piece of cloth and a piece of string wrapped around it. My favourite thing to sprout is fenugreek. You only need about a tablespoon at a time. And in a few days they will become some tasty greens for you to eat, and you get a lot for one pack of fenugreek. Here are some other things that you can sprout. Some of these you may already have in your cupboard. If you can't plant into the ground, raised beds are an option, but often with a big cost. There's ways around this. We use old bathtubs, old buckets, mortar tubs. We paid about £3 each for these in Lidl. And these are old water tanks. If you can source them, pallets are also great to make your own raised beds. I've also seen them being made into sheds and even animal enclosures. However, in our area, because of the rising cost of wood, pallets are getting harder and harder to source. Sometimes spending that little bit more money can be worth it. We are very limited on space, so I've added a green stalk this year, and the amount of food we can grow in the space is absolutely amazing so far.
So one of our favourite things to grow plants and things in are these tubs. It's what you normally find the bouquets in supermarkets. So if you go in and ask them very, very nicely, you can normally get a handful of these. What I like to do, grab these, drill some holes in the bottom, which I haven't done in this one yet. Fill it up with compost and soil, and then there's a nice little bit of growing for your tomatoes, your cucumber, peas. Heck, you could probably even get away with a few carrots in there if you wanted to, if you really needed the space for them. But yeah, nice growing little space, and doesn't cost a penny. Just a little bit of niceness and a bit of a drill. So there you go.
The price of compost can add up quickly, so if you've got the space, creating a compost area as soon as possible can help reduce them costs. Greenhouses and other outbuildings can have a very high initial cost. You can reduce the price by making them yourself if you can source the materials free or cheaply, or on places like Facebook Marketplace you can also pick up some very, very low cost or even free if you're lucky. Another option is these that do only last about a year, but if you're desperate to start growing, they can be a good option just to start off.
Hey guys, if you are enjoying the video, don't forget to do a little like, comment, maybe even a subscribe if you're feeling up to it. Really does help the channel. Thank you very much guys, and I'm going to let Kirsty take back over the video, and I'm just going to stand here and admire the birds.
Weed killers and pesticides can have a high cost. It's not something that we use, as we don't want to spray our homegrown crops with chemicals that the supermarkets do. Part of what we do is to make sure our food is as clean, as organic as possible. What we do instead is we plant some sacrificial crops such as marigolds, so they get eaten by the slugs as well. There's an initial cost for netting to go around brassicas so the cabbage whites don't get in. And we also interplant with things like onions so that it confuses the pests and so that as much as possible doesn't get eaten, because even though we don't mind sharing, the bugs just obliterate everything. We also oversow, so if we do lose some to bugs and pests, we've still got plenty more. Fertilisers can be expensive. But you can also make them yourself with things that you wouldn't want to put in the compost, and that is seen as a weed. Or things like nettles are highly nutritious for your plants. by steeping them in water for a few weeks and then diluting that water with some regular water can make a highly nutritious plant feed, and it doesn't cost anything but a little bit of time. They are great for nutrition loving crops. If you are really limited on space but you still want to reduce how much you're spending in the supermarket, foraging is such a great thing to learn. Doesn't cost anything at all apart from your time and from the actual foraging and learning, as you need to be 100% sure on what you are picking to make sure it's safe. So for example, blackberries, quite expensive to buy in the shops, but here in the UK they're absolutely in abundance this time of year. In bushes, woodland, fences. Highly nutritious, great to make jam out of, and it doesn't cost you a penny. So definitely worth doing. Let nature do the hard work for you. Potatoes, a crop that many say not to bother with, as they are so cheap to buy at the supermarkets and in the farm shops. But to us, they are one of the most satisfying crops to grow. The seed potatoes can work out expensive, but if you save some potatoes from your last harvest, then you really don't need to buy them again. And they are really easy to grow. The only thing stopping us growing more is the space factor. They grow really well in ground, but we are growing ours in grow bags, which is quite a high initial cost, but these should last for years and years. We don't have the space to grow all of our own potatoes, so we pay £8 a bag at the local farm shop.
Purchasing seeds is one of the cheapest ways to grow your own food, especially if you buy heirloom varieties so that the seeds can be saved. Purchasing seedlings or plug plants are highly cost inefficient, as they could potentially cost more than what a full-grown crop would cost you in the supermarket. An example of this is lettuce. A packet containing approximately 1,400 seeds costs less than £1, not much more than buying a packet of 2 from the supermarket. Adding a grow bag for around £5 and you can potentially grow hundreds of lettuce for less than you would pay for a few plug plants.
Fruit trees and fruit bushes have a high initial cost, but a very high return over the years. Fruit trees in the ground need little care, just the occasional prune to keep them healthy.
So, overall, it is cheaper for us to grow our own, and it can be for you as well. It depends how much you want to spend. It can be as little or as expensive as you're willing to go or what your budget will allow. For us overall, it is cheaper growing our own than it is going and getting store-bought.
Yes, the initial cost can be quite a lot, so maybe the first year of growing can have a big impact on your finances, but like Dean said, it can be cheap if you need it to be. We've added a few things like the hydroponics this year. We try and do an investment each year towards our growing, but if you can't do that, that's fine. Things like marketplace, local groups where you can get things for free or cheap even. The local tip or waste facilities near us also have a shop where you can buy things cheaply, so that helps enormously too.
You don't need a lot. If you're just getting started, all you need is a couple of buckets or plant pots, like we've said in the video, you can pick up from a supermarket. If you just ask nicely, sometimes you can get them. Just anything really, and just put some soil in it and just start with that.
what helps us reduce our supermarket cost with growing the most is because we have things like lettuce here. We don't nip in the supermarket and think, oh well, we're here, we'll just impulse buy and pick up some snacky bits that we can make at home. So even though not everything necessarily is cheaper, the impulse buys that we're not doing have a huge effect on how our finances, and we can really see a difference with us growing our own rather than popping in for some lettuce to go on a burger.
And for everybody who commented in the last video, don't worry, your comments haven't gone unnoticed. We've just had a really busy week with it's been chaos, hasn't it? To be fair, been absolute chaos. So we're a little bit behind on getting back on comments, and we've completely ran out of time on the video. We've been on it 5 days, in squeezing it in where we can, a bit in, a bit there, and so what we will do is the comments from the last video we will either put into another video, or we will answer them on a live stream. We've not decided yet, but when we know, you will know.
So I will be reading the comments and putting a like and a heart on, but we will be responding properly in a live stream or on a video. And what I'll do, if you do have your own channel, I will make sure that your channel link is in our description, so then hopefully you'll get people watching you as well.
Yeah.
Because the comments are absolutely amazing, and they really do think the same as we do. So some people think it costs more, some people think it costs less, the majority think it can vary, but what I've noticed everybody did say was that it's worth it. So the quality, the taste, knowing where your food comes from, reducing the food miles, all of that makes, no matter what money you spend on growing your own food, absolutely worth it.
Yeah.
And that's what we think too.
Yeah, a lot better. Well, I think that's everything.
Yes.
That's everything. That's Dean. I'm Kirsty. Nope, that's wrong.
I'm Kirsty.
I'm Dean. We're Homestead, and we'll catch you all in the next one. Bye, guys.
Bye.